And feel free to post. I don't know if you post these on your YouTube, but feel free to.
Once again.
Go on. Says it's preparing, so I think we're already live when it does that.
Yes, mine said we were live already. So.
Yeah, we discover that when we go back and watch it, it's showing this part of our conversation. So I think we're already live. So hello, everybody.
And hello from me too.
Oh,
yes, mine said we were live already.
There we go. It was playing it back on the other screen for me. I couldn't find my mute button. Okay, so welcome to the Q&A, you guys. Everyone come on in. We're going live. I'm going to share this over to Facebook, I hope. And see if we can stream it live from Facebook. And we're going to talk a little bit about Mercury in retrograde as we revisit a lot of things today. So that'll be fun. Oh, can I do that? Look at this. I'm learning things while I'm posting here.
You're an excellent multitasker.
You're watching me. You're all watching me. Come on in, get in here. Everybody get in. Yeah, we got just a couple of people in here so far. So let's get a full house. So let's bring in the people. Get in the chat room, you guys. Say hello. While my eyes are open, I can say hello to you guys. Judy does not have a second screen to look at to see what you guys are saying live. That's why we ask you to send your questions in ahead of time. And it's really hard to keep up with questions coming in on the live feed. So this is so helpful when you guys do this. We appreciate it. And we like coming in here and sharing this time with you guys and answering your questions. Hello, Remzo's here. He's hanging out. Julie's here. And so we're in the Mercury in retrograde right now. Judy and I are having experiences with that. Mine have been really electronics a lot. Like I had to restart my computer today. I had to restart it yesterday morning. It wouldn't log on. It just seems like the electronics are really being affected. Mercury in retrograde is, I believe, in the Capricorn sign this time around, which is me. And I thought, okay, how's that going to affect me? Now, I'm going to be honest, I've been doing pretty good, like with a few little quirky things, but the revisiting things, reliving through some things, having things resurface, all those things. Let's talk a little bit about that. What are you noticing around you?
Yes, well, it's as if you, well, number one, electronics, absolutely. So many things going amiss, so many things not working, so many things not loading, just stuff that you use all the time. So that has been quite an issue, particularly in the last 3 or 4 days. But also with things surfacing, there seems to be no memory of you having worked on something before. So either, and it just comes up again, so either there's still more work to be done on those things. Well, that's the only thing that I can come up with. It just comes up, you just don't remember that you've done it. Yeah. And the whole memory thing also, I'm struggling with that at this particular point in time. It's as if my focus is on this exact moment before I move on to the next moment. It's really, really interesting, and I'm sure I'm not alone in the experience of, you go to a room to get something, and by the time you get there, it's
forgetting no idea. Midstream. I've been doing that.
Why am I here? And it just completely goes. It just completely goes. So either we're only partly here, and I think that cropped up with Daniel some weeks ago, where we were pretty much on autopilot whilst we're off doing other things. So whether that is even more of the case at this point in time may well be, but it certainly is very, very interesting to see how I'm operating with limitations, quite severe limitations at times, because I know that I'm just not functioning as I would normally function. It's quite interesting. So I think the thing is,
I've been what I call the hibernation phase. I get in this hibernation mode, but I attributed it to being winter.
yeah.
And for you, it's summer. So
finally.
yeah, maybe you're vicariously picking up on me somehow, where I'm like, just leave me in bed 10 more minutes, please. So yeah, but definitely, like, I'll be in conversation and I'm searching for words that are simple words, you know, or where was that thought taking me? I was telling something and now why was I telling that, you know?
Exactly. It's just gone. But I think probably the thing to remember is to just be kind to ourselves and not stress about it too much. Just understand that there are things going on that we aren't aware of. And, you know, just to, as much and as awkward and as difficult as it can be, I think we just need to flow with it and not beat ourselves up that, you know, I can't remember this, or I forgot to do that, or I missed a deadline on something. Everything can be fixed later on when you're, you know, when it crops up and you can go back to do it. So it's worse to be hard on yourself in not achieving what you need to, or not remembering, etc. Just go with it. Just take the little time out that you need, and everything will get resolved in the end.
Yeah,
that's what I'm adopting anyway. I'm just not pushing. It will happen.
you know, we can't. I mean, we're supposed to be going with the flow, right? So any resistance to that is going to just create hiccups in the plan, right?
Exactly.
We're part of this grand finale plan of what's happening in our lives. So, you know, just being aware. There's a lot of things going on with Mercury's in retrograde, but I think it was Mars or something like that is in retrograde also. And then we've got the moon. The moon, this last full moon was it's like a 2-week stretch, bringing in a lot of it kind of merged with Mercury in my mind really well, because it brought in a lot of nostalgia, love, falling in love with things, or getting new directions or new parts of life, bringing in this kind of nuance around it, but kind of like pulling the intensities off. And that might be it too, is like all that intensity is gone and we're just kind of like, oh, and then our minds aren't as, you know, we're in this fluffy cloud, not
very much a fluffy cloud.
But yeah, okay, so we're going to go into the chat room here while I can, to say hello to the ones who are here watching. We already said hi to Remzo, to Julie, we got Sherry, we've got Tamra from Colorado, Charmel from Oregon, Marcella from Boston, the goods is sending flowers, thank you. Carol from New York, rainy New York. Well, Carol, rainy Oregon, saying hello back. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, we were talking about the electronics. Remzo's in here saying his Wi-Fi too. So yep, I've had the Wi-Fi shut down. I've had to drag out my laptop, put on my hotspot on my phone, and about the time I get everything set up, then the Wi-Fi would come back on. I'm like, oh, I'd rather use my desktop. So I moved everything, and then it went away again. I'm like, no, done.
A lot of that.
And I don't have, on my desktop, I'm hardwired in the Ethernet cable. So I thought, you know, this has happened to me more than once. So I'm going to make it never happen again. And I ordered a little Wi-Fi connector for my desktop. So now that I have that, and I have, because I could always turn on my hotspot on my phone if the Wi-Fi goes down, right? And usually it's working, you know, as long as I got a signal. So I thought, well, that'll be a solution. So now that I did that, it'll quit shutting down. That's my hopes. It's like, yeah, do the thing that's going to solve the problem, then the problem will quit reoccurring. So, all right, we've got Courtney from Southwest Missouri. We got Bonnie. Bonnie didn't say where she's from, but I want to say Bonnie's from Oregon. Sherry. Oh, we said hi to Sherry, I think, already. So you guys are just getting in here chatting with us now. We got Lynette from Wyoming. We've got Deborah. She's in Florida. We've got Jean from Miami. And we've got Deb from Alberta. And okay, so Marcella's asking, she said, I noticed all my phone and AirPods are draining so fast. That happened today in my session earlier. Things are draining of energy. So my client, she was on like either a phone or an iPad, and she had her earbuds, her little iPod, or what do you call them, AirPods in. And within like 5 minutes of us talking, she's like, that's weird. These were fully charged and they're dead. And I was like, yeah, plug in whatever device you're using too, because this is going to keep happening. But yeah, there's so much energy. Yeah, that's right. Bonnie's in Oregon. Okay, so we got Diana from Ontario. It's fun to have you guys come in and say hi and let us know all the different fun places you're from. Judy's from Australia. I'm from Oregon.
Any Aussies on there today?
I know. Where's the rest of the gang? They're coming. They're coming. So anyways, okay, you guys, Sherry's from California. I love that. Thank you guys. That's fun. I know that Julia and I do that when we're on the metaphysical hour, but it is fun to hear where everybody's from and where all this is reaching. Absolutely. Okay, so we've got some questions, and some of the questions, you guys, we're going to revisit because they are questions that we've answered before, but let's find out what the answer comes in today. You know, like Judy was saying, sometimes, because I was like, well, that's interesting. It seems like I've answered this one a couple of times already, but like you were saying, either that wasn't the right time for the person asking the question today for them to hear it, or you know, we need to revisit it. Maybe there's a little bit more to it. So we're going to find out a couple of things just through revisiting some questions. You guys have some really good questions on the board. One thing I want to talk about that, and I don't think that person got their question in on time, but there was a question about, can you ask Daniel why I've been through what I went through the last 25 days? And that was that was it. And you guys got to understand, Daniel's not God. He's not source. He is like you and I. He's very intuitive. He's got a deeper understanding of intuition, but a question like that is very vague, and it's really hard to answer those. Like, you're going to get a vague answer. You're going to get a very open and general answer. Like Daniel could take that question and go, I'm going to take that where my agenda is. So if you want to have something specific, like something specific happened in those 25 days, come in with a specific question. It's going to get you a lot deeper answer if Daniel knows what you want him to focus on. Like I said, he's not your guide. He's my guide, and he's tuning into you. So he doesn't have the universal all-knowing, I've seen everything you're doing. He's a being on another planet with a high intuition. So I hope I say that in the right kind of way. Very extraordinary being, here to help us to evolve, to heal, to stretch our minds. But he doesn't know everything you're doing at every minute. So please be specific with what you're asking so that it makes it easier when those questions come in. So did I cover that okay? Would you add anything?
Yeah, no, that's right on the money, as we would say.
Yeah. So we do have quite a few questions today. We'll try to get through them all. I think we have a better shot at getting through them today because I didn't announce it for as long of a stretch. So there are fewer questions than normal, but still quite a few. So I'll get on that now, you guys. We're getting quite a group coming in here. Hi to everybody else that's come in. We've Jonathan has joined us in the chat room from Minnesota. Katie from Minnesota. And then you guys are awesome. So I just love the comments that you guys are putting in here of support. So cool. Thank you so much. And really enjoy having you guys there. Okay, would you ask Daniel about the UFOs we have been seeing off our south-facing deck lately? Well, Deb, I would love to just say to the person that wrote to me and said, how come we haven't had any UFO activity like Daniel said was going to be happening? I keep hearing comments like that. Talk to us about the UFOs. So last year, Daniel predicted that over the year 2022, there was going to be a lot more sky activity. Pay attention. It's there. There's going to be stuff that people see. We've had airline pilots come forward and start divulging what they're seeing in the sky. We've had military let us know more is going on than what they've been telling us too. We have a lot of disclosure that's been going on over the last year. And that's just reminding me again that you know, that has been happening. Deb, the ships have always been there. You're just finally seeing them because you're ready. That's what I'm going to say about that. So you guys are awesome. Okay, I'm going to go get Daniel. And Judy is all ready. She's geared up. She's wired to the nines. She's ready. I'm going to take a drink of water. Before we get started, Judy, because I know that some people don't make it all the way to the end. They listened for what they want, you know, for the question that they had, and then they might not make it through all the questions. Understandable. I do the same thing. So let's tell people before the end of this recording, tell them about what you do, who you are, and how they get a hold of you.
Okay, well, I am a level 3 quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner. I'm also a soul speak practitioner. And my website is mylifespurpose.com.au. There's a couple of other services that I do, other intuitive journeys, so to speak. So have a look on there and you'll get all the info.
And some people might not know what Soul Speak is.
Soul Speak is it's the brainchild, shall we say, of Julia Cannon. Soul Speak deals with looking at your health issues from a different perspective. The health issues that arise are in the body because you're not getting the messages. You're not understanding the messages that are coming through from your team, your higher self, etc. So in order to get your attention, they make your body hurt or feel uncomfortable. So in having a look at what parts of your body are not comfortable and going within, you can find out the reason why, and those symptoms can literally just simply disappear with that understanding. There may be things that you have to do in order to rectify whatever it is that you're not getting. But it's an absolutely beautiful way to come to a completely different understanding about your health and why you are experiencing what you're experiencing. It's fascinating.
Very fascinating. So Judy is an extraordinary intuitive. She does channel. She does her QHHT. Those are in person only, just FYI. And then I think the rest of it can be done online though.
Yes,
right?
it can.
And the other services you provide. So just FYI, her information, not right now because I haven't had the opportunity to fill in the description box yet. But once we get done with this recording, Judy's information's down below. You can just copy it, click it, whatever works for you, but it's going to be down below for you. So if you're interested in a session with Judy, that's available. Of course, my email and not my email. Don't put email on a YouTube. I found out the hard way. You will be spammed all day long, every second of every minute of every day. So don't put your email there. But my website is there. All of my information's there, and the services I have are on my website as well. Let's go get Daniel. Okay.
Okay.
Well, these ladies were a bit chatty today. We were trying to come in and no, we got more talking to do, Daniel. You just right there. So we're here now. We're here with answers. We are here with joy. We are elated to be here with you. We are excited to be here with you in this energy. What a beautiful time to be alive, isn't it? And so with all of that, we know that there are a lot of questions. You don't need us to be talky either. You want your questions answered. We get it. We'll be there for you. So we're going to let Judy start asking the questions, and we'll see what comes in for all of you as you so patiently have been waiting and you are chomping at the bit for those answers. So let's get, yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. always such a pleasure to talk with you.
We love being here with you, Judy, and we love being part of your life and being connected to your council. It is always a fun time. You should see what these ladies do when they're not in their body. That is something to talk about. They are party animals in the ethers. Let's tell you that. They're a lot of fun. So let's go ahead. Let's celebrate life right now by answering these juicy questions and getting everybody these morsels.
Okay. So the first one is from Sacred Lee, who asks, how do we know when we're on our right path?
You know you're on your right path when you don't have roadblock after roadblock after roadblock getting in your way. When you're on your right path, it is really literally, it is impossible to be on the wrong path because you're always learning something. But we believe what you're asking is, you set intentions when you came into this lifetime. You set intentions. Are you reaching those goals? Are you fulfilling those intentions? And what you will find is resistance when you get off course. You design your higher self and you will design resistance if you are going off course. The best way we have ever seen this explained is if you are going to travel, you get out your GPS, right? You go to your maps and you put it in your system and it says you're going to start here and the shortest distance is from here to there is this line in between. And as long as you follow that line, you're in the quickest path to your destination. And that is how you started your life. Okay, I'm on the GPS. I'm going to be born here and I'm going to die here in this line right there. That is going to be my quickest and best path to that spot. Well, then you got to go pee. Oh, don't. Now I got to take this road out here. I got to go take this exit off of my path and I'm going to go use the restroom. And then I got to find my way back to the path. And then you're driving down and you say, well, now I made room for food. Okay, so now I'm hungry. So then you got to take another exit and you go do that and you come back but then you come back to your path. It brings you back to your path. Every time that GPS will let you take that side road, but then you always come back. And so think about life like that. You're going to have distractions. You're going to have these little things that go on that take you off course a little bit. But then it always brings you back. And what does it bring you back with? Something more. Now you don't have to pee anymore. Now you don't have to eat anymore. Those needs are filled. Whatever that curiosity was, whatever that urge was, it got fulfilled. And so now you're back on your path and you're still working your way to that other thing. And it doesn't change the destination and it doesn't change the course, but you might learn a few more things than you actually thought you might along the way. And so you're on your path, you're always on your path. But when you find yourself hitting a wall of resistance, you might want to step back and say, man, everything I do to try to get to this, it's not working. Pay attention to that. It doesn't mean you're not going. It doesn't mean you're not doing that thing or meeting that person or whatever that thing you're pushing against to try to get to this location. It doesn't mean you won't go there. It just means maybe there's a better way. And so step back, let go of your attachment to whatever it is you are trying to work towards, that you keep finding that resistance. Take a breath, ask for a better route to show itself to you, or ask for a better situation to appear, and then get back on course, and that will happen for you. So we hope you liked our GPS. How do you know you're on the right path and course? That is how. And so just keep your GPS going. You know you have your destination and you will reach it. It's impossible not to. So you will get there. No worries.
Beautiful answer. Excellent analogy too. We can all relate to that. That's wonderful.
We thought that might be a good one, especially since everyone has a bladder. You can relate to that. Yes, no. Go ahead and bring in that next question.
The next one's from Remzo. So Remzo writes that he knows what separation energy, so the fact that we feel separate, but he's not sure what unity energy feels like. So in unity, being one, I imagine that's what he's saying. So what does that feel like to be one?
That's like saying, what does it feel like to be on fire? If you haven't been on fire, you don't know, right? How do you describe that? To experience the energy of oneness, one thing we want to say, Remzo, is you come from a very strong collective of the oneness, of the unified consciousness. You come from that. Here's why you don't remember it. If you remembered it, you wouldn't want to be here. It's very, very difficult to experience this beautiful interaction of oneness from the vibrational fields of those who can experience that. You must raise your vibrations out of fear in order to experience the oneness. There are moments where people in humankind can experience the oneness from remembering from other collectives that they have been in where they had the oneness. But it is very difficult to achieve that in the earth realm with the densities of the third dimension, because you have that duality. The oneness consciousness can corrupt. If one person goes into fear, everyone will feel the fear, right? And so you have to be very careful with that. And that is why a lot of you, when you say, why don't I see you guys in the physical? Why don't the Arcturians come down and physically say hello? And it is because we are connected to in that collective way, and any disruption in that beautiful frequency in that way, if it were to get into one vibrational field, it would get into all of them. And so it is something to be considerate of, that we come to you through these vehicles, we come to you through channels and through reflections and holographic images, because we are being careful not to subject our biological suits to frequencies and feelings and different things that could corrupt the consciousness. Now, what does it feel like to have that? That would be something very difficult to explain. It is a feeling. It's very expansive. A lot of people think, well, I don't want to go to that oneness consciousness. I like being the individual, right? Well, you're still individual. In fact, you are more individual than you are in a third dimension. In the third dimension, everybody, not everybody, that's the wrong word, but there are large collectives of humankind. Think about how your life is structured. Everybody is trying to be like everybody else, right? Everybody is trying to conform and follow these guidelines and follow these rules and look the same, dress the same, drive the same car, live in the same kind of home, do the same kind of jobs, and all the things. They're all trying to mimic each other. And in the oneness consciousness, you have the complete total freedom to be your unique and authentic self, because you are one. You love yourself at this point. You are in this beautiful space of self-care, self-love, and self-reflection. And so you have this beautiful and unique ability to be absolutely 100% uniquely you. And then let's say we were in a room with Judy, we'd be able to have an interaction with Judy, and not only would her words express to us what she's thinking and feeling, but we would feel her vibrations, we'd feel her energy as well, because we're connected like that. And so we would have this conversation, and we would know that we are speaking truth to each other and acknowledging each other and being in great adoration of each other, because we really admire Judy. And so she would be able to feel that adoration that we have for her, and she would know it to be true because she feels it, just like the empath can feel the room. And so as you keep evolving, that doesn't mean that you're connected to 8 billion other souls all at the same time, but you can go into that space where you can be in the meditation, you can expand yourself out into the ethers, you can be connected to all things at all time. You can do that now. You can do this in this space. You can interact with those around you. You can feel those around you. You guys are starting to pick it up. When a friend goes to call you and you pick up the phone before it rings, or you hear the ping and it's somebody you've been thinking about, or vice versa, you're calling them and find out they were thinking about you. You're all starting to evolve to it. How to explain what that feels like is beyond our our ability at this time, but we want you to know that some of you are not able to remember that connection because you came into this world experiencing individualism. You are being the individual, you're almost in that solitude. And a lot of times the collective that is falling under that term of volunteers, light showers, way showers, light star seeds, all of those titles that you have. As you come in and step into those roles, it is hard for you because you come from these other collectives. And so that memory has been suppressed from you, because if you remembered it, you would long for it, you would want to come home to it, because it is loving, it is embracing, it is supportive, and it is a beautiful feeling. And we can use those words to help you understand it, but until you actually embrace it and feel it, it would be very hard for you to conceptualize it from the individual space of oneness. But you also need to experience oneness, right? And that is an important feeling, so that you can find the individual part of you, so that you can be in the truth of who you are, so that as you grow into this evolution of collective, you already have your identification of who you are. You wouldn't be melding into, or molding, or morphing, or whatever you want to call that, into other personalities to be pleasing to others, to comply to others' demands and all of that. None of that exists in those realities. So you're here having a very special experience, being in the oneness, or that individual feeling, but you also have the great opportunity to expand that into a form of this collective thought that you're talking about, to bond with other people, to share with other people, to bring your awareness in self-love into alignment, so that you can work with these energies of telepathy, of the empath, of all of these beautiful things under the guidance of love, and bringing in the love frequency around all of it. That was a lot longer answer than we thought we were going to give you, Remzo. Sorry about the going on and on about it, but it is very important to understand that you're here evolving, so that you can get to that place of the collective. It's a beautiful thing to do.
It was a good question and a wonderful answer. I'm sure lots of people have thought about that. So excellent. Thank you.
We didn't even get smarty pants in that one, did we? We kept that one clear for you. No smarty pants answers.
I think we all enjoy your smarty pants answers.
Maybe we can come up with a few more for you. We'll do our best. We like to accommodate, yes. So we will do our best. What do we have next?
Okay, the next one is from MGF, who asks, does their maternal grandmother have any message for them from the other side? This person had a special bond with the grandmother and knows that she watches over her children. I'm assuming it's a female. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. So she knows that she's being watched over, but is there any message today?
From maternal grandmother. We want to say that the message is not just from maternal grandmother, but from all the ancestors of the maternal and matriarch line. The voice, you have things to say, you have things to share. You're doing a great job. Keep going. It feels like there is something more to this question. And what we want to say is that it feels like there is a certain thing that you are looking for, a certain answer that you are looking for from this grandparent about something that is going on in your life. Do they see you? Yes, your grandparent sees you. They're with you. They have no judgment, good, bad, or indifferent. This is for everyone. Your loved ones are already out of this third dimensional reality where judgment goes into place, where good, bad, or indifferent goes in place. They're out of that. They are observing now. They are observing, and they really have no attachment in that sense of, sorry, Tracie just said, like the term rolling over in their grave. They don't really do that. They just observe you, you know, they're not rolling over in their grave when you make a decision that in your world you would slap your forehead and go, why did I make that decision? Why did I do that? And then you think, oh no, it was grandma watching that. I just did something that I don't want grandma to see. Or something that you're like, did grandma see that? I'm so excited about that. And grandma's just sitting there with a bucket of popcorn eating and saying, yes, I see it. I see it. You're doing things and you're having experiences and you're living your life. That's what they want for you. They want you to live. They want you to be happy. They want you to be singing a song when you're in the car. They want you to be having joyful moments with friends and family. They want you to understand that life is more than just working and struggling and making ends meet and doing all the things, right? There's so much more to life. And so here you are with all of your daily challenges and all of your things that are going on. And to wonder about those loved ones, yes, they're right there with you. They're there. They're able to peer in on you like we're able to do that with Tracie. We come in and we check on her, and sometimes we pop in and we speak to her, and sometimes we just watch and take comfort and let her feel supported in certain ways. But that also doesn't mean that you've got somebody watching you 24/7 and that you can't even jump in the shower alone, right? You can take your own shower. They don't need to observe that. They're not there. They don't care about that. So just know that, yes, grandma is there. Grandma is watching. And that thing that you are wondering if grandma saw, yes, grandma saw that. And that there has been signs being pointed out to you. She's trying to communicate with you as well to let you know. And maybe it's a bird, maybe there's a flower that she keeps sending you, but you need to acknowledge when you sense and feel that energy around you. You need to understand that grandma is also a teacher. Grandma is teaching you that there's so much more to life, that you are multidimensional, that you can sense things. You can tell when grandma's around. You know when the lights flicker or something happens, music plays or something like that, a certain song, that this is a loved one that's coming through, and that the reason you're thinking of them when that song played is because their energy is around you. You are being taught by these loved ones on the other side how to be the medium, how to be that bridge between spirit and physical realm. So the things that you are asking about, we know we're being general here, but yes, maternal grandma is here. Maternal grandma sees, and maternal grandma is teaching you. And that is the biggest message that she would like to get to you, is welcome her in. She will work with you. We have some of you, somebody is saying, I wouldn't want my grandma. She was a mean old bitty. Whoever said that, whoever thinks grandma was mean or grouchy or whatever it is, you have to understand that when we know people in the third dimension, in the human realm, they are playing a role for you. They are playing a part in your life. That is not who they are in spirit. Everyone comes from the soul, right? You're coming from the soul, and you are this pure and beautiful magical thing. And then you say, okay, I'm going to go into that third dimension. I'm going to play the role of a human. I'm going to play Tracie, and I'm going to be born into this family, and I'm going to be in this order, and I picked this as my birthday, and I'm going to take on these challenges, and then I'm going to respond to this person this way, and I'm going to get married to that person and play this role for them. We're going to bring in these kids, and then we're going to play that role for them. You see, you're not that person. You're not the person. This is the role that Tracie plays, or the soul that plays Tracie. This is what the personality that comes through for her. But the soul self is not identified by the actions of what goes on in this life form. This is an experience that is being had, and then that experience goes back. And then a new experience can be created, and a new life can be formed, and things can happen like that. But know that whatever role people play for you, if they are no longer in this world and you don't remember them and a very kind heart, remember that sometimes those were your best teachers, right? Those were the ones that pushed you the hardest. They're the ones that got you to stomp your foot down and get into that certainty that the dang well, I'm going to show them, I'm going to go be successful. I'm going to go do that thing. I'm going to climb that mountain, and then I'm going to climb it again just to show that person. Well, that person was put in your life so that you would get into that certainty, because it's that certainty, it's that drive, it's that force of I'm not taking no for an answer that gets you the manifestation, gets you to that goal, gets you to that outcome. So bravo to them. There's a lot to say about loved ones, isn't there? And the short answer to the question is yes, grandma's there, grandma sees you, and there's a lot of great things that you are doing. And give yourself an opportunity to communicate with grandma by offering up, could you show me when you were around, could you show me a yellow flower? Could you show me a bumblebee? Could you show me, you know, find something that resonates for you, that's doable for those loved ones on the other side, so that they can manifest and create that, they can bring it forward to you. And we have to giggle, because there was one point where Tracie said, okay, pennies from heaven, right? Well, there's inflation, spirit, and let's bring it up, let's step it up. Can we get dimes? Well, now she finds dimes everywhere. So have a little fun with it, but make it doable. Make it something that's doable. All right, you guys, let's let Judy ask us the next question.
I'm sure lots of people would have had the chills of recognition as they connected with their loved ones earlier on in that explanation. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, the next one is from Shannon, who understands mentally about being connected, but can't seem to experience it. They want to know some information about their connection to spirit.
So Shannon knows that she's connected, she just doesn't know what it feels like?
Yes.
Well, it feels like that. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of times the ego gets in the way, and we don't want to say that word ego like it's a bad thing, and you came in with that because it was part of the experience. But when you get in your mind and you're like, okay, I want to connect to spirit, I want to be in this place with this beautiful connection of mine with all my beautiful counsel, and then you're like, oh, that feels good, wait a minute, did I really feel that, or did I make it up because I wanted that? And so then you had the experience, and then you took the experience away from yourself. So quit doing that second part. Quit taking it away. Quit doubting it. Quit questioning it. When you think about all the beautiful things that you can create in this world, who is it that tells you it's right or wrong? When you get into your mind and you start looking at all these things, and you go into the meditation and you astral travel, and you feel like you're up in space and it feels good, and you're floating around, and you're all doing it with me right now. Float around in space with me. It feels good. It feels light. It feels very free. It feels very expansive, and you're feeling it, and it's an experience. Now go, oh, did I really do that? No, I don't think I really did that. Maybe I just made that up. I just made that whole thing up. And then it goes, and it lands right back at really hard, right back in that third dimension, right? Don't do that second part. Stay in that fluffy, floaty, expansive piece, because you are so much more than the physical body. And so, Shannon, when you go into that experience with your beautiful counsel, one of the things we want to say, and this is advice for everyone that wants to listen to it, when you go into effort, that is saying, I don't believe it's going to happen. So if Judy were to say, Daniel, XYZ question, and all of a sudden Tracie's going, oh my gosh, XYZ question, XYZ question, XYZ question, she's never going to find the answer. Her mind's so busy, we can't talk to her, right? She does that sometimes, by the way. And we have to bully her a bit to get back through. But now Judy says, Tracie, XYZ, ask Daniel XYZ question. And Tracie goes, okay. And then she gets into the floatiness of it. And she gets out of the way and she says, Daniel, XYZ. And then she just waits and she stays blank. She's good at that. She's very blank. And then the answers. We can come in with those answers. We can flow in with them. She's not darting around going, where is it? Where is it? Where's that answer? Is it over here? Is it over there? I can't get it. It's not coming in. Where's the answer? But you know what? She did that. She did that for a very long time. And it took her a while to get to this place of knowing that all she has to do is quiet her mind, quiet the mind, and allow. Now, what is she looking for when she's in the allowing? That's another question to be asking. So now you feel the connection. You're in the allowing, you're in the flow. You're not trying to seek it, find it. You're not wondering where it's at. You're not trying to pull it from the ethers with your own mighty power. But you're sitting there quietly and you're just in that allowing. And now what is she looking for? How are we going to answer her? Well, we might come in as a thought. We might come in as our own voice in her head, bringing in information. We might come in as a feeling in her body. We might just come in as that almighty knowing, right? There's all kinds of ways for everyone to receive information. You all have every ability that is happening right here in this vehicle. You can channel, you can speak to loved ones, you can pull in the energy, you can tune into your animals, you can tune into your house, you can tune into your children. You have all the gifts, you have all the abilities. This is who you are. This is a demonstration of each and every one of you. You are on your own journeys to find your way to it. However it comes through for you may look different than it comes through for Judy, for Tracie, for the next guy. Everyone does it different. You are a signature. You are a thumbprint. You are an individual experience. Your reality is different from everyone else's reality. And the way you receive information will be too. So you learn. You learn, how does it come in? How am I feeling it? How am I receiving that energy? When Judy asked that question, the allowing for the information to flow through comes in. The allowing for information and connection will come in. When Tracie first started, we needed to give her signs that we were there. She struggled with it too, Shannon. She struggled with it. She was like, how do I know when it's me and when it's not me? I need signs. Okay, we'll give you signs. So when we started coming in, she'll get really foggy right up here in the crown chakra. And she felt like somebody was pulling her head back. And she felt like she wanted to tip her head back and go back, and her eyes would roll back a little bit. And she was having physical sensations that were telling her we were here. And then she did that for a few months, and that would happen every time. She would know we were here because she went through this whole routine. And then we're like, okay, now she knows what we feel like. She knows what this vibration is. She doesn't need this anymore. So we took away all those sensations. And then she said, where did you guys go? Where did you go? And we're sitting there going, we're right here. And she goes, yeah, but why don't I have and she's having a full-on conversation with us about this whole thing, about not having these sensations, but not realizing also that, oh, you're right here. I don't need all those sensations. So we had to explain it to her. So as you keep evolving, as you keep growing, it's going to shift. It's going to change as you get better at it. These physical signs that everyone is looking for, the chills and the reactions and the body doing the things, the reactions, and that knowingness and that strong pull and all the things, they're there because you need them there to give you validation that you're having an experience instead of just trusting that you're having an experience. And it is a growing pain, isn't it? So you're going to keep experiencing these things as you keep inviting in the new intuition and the new growth and the new remembering of who you are and all the abilities that you have. You're going to set this up for yourself, have these experiences so that you know when this is happening and that is happening. You're going to have demonstration. You're going to have reactions. And then as you get familiar with it, as your body starts to remember, oh yeah, that's what it feels like when that comes in. That's what happens. Then you're going to start having less and less need for those physical reactions. And it's going to get easier and easier. As the veil thins, so many of you need to recognize that you're already in constant communication with your higher self, with your spiritual team. You're having conversations with them all day long. Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think's talking back in your head with you? And so you'll know when it's ego, because the ego gets in the way. The ego gets the fear. The ego wants to ask questions. Wait, was that right? Did I make that up? Did I do that? That's ego. The answers that come flowing in, that is your higher self. And so you get to play with that. You get to learn how to use your discernment with that. You get to go trial and error and go out and, okay, was that me or was that my ego? Okay, well, I'm going to go try this. And if it succeeds, then I know it was me. And if it doesn't, then I know it was my ego. And I'm going to know the difference, because I felt a little bit angst when I went to try it. I was a little bit worried about it. That might pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to the compass within you. It's guiding you, and you're learning how to follow it. But you have to give it trial and error. We can't sit here and tell you each and every step of the way, oh yeah, follow that one, don't follow that one, follow that one, follow that one, don't follow that one. You get to do that. That's your journey, and it's a fun one. We're going to quit talking now. We feel like we wrapped that up. So did that, anything else you want to add to that, Judy?
I just want to thank Shannon for asking that question, because that was such a wonderful, wonderful explanation that everybody can relate to. It was fantastic. Thank you for that. It was really, really good.
Yes, there was a lot of information there. Hopefully, well, we know that everyone that was meant to hear it has taken that information in. So we hold gratitude for those that were open to receive it.
We hold gratitude for being able to hear it. So the next question is from Kiki, who had an experience some years ago, just waking up from dream state. She heard a voice saying harmony, and it was odd, never experienced anything like that before. She had no doubt that it was real, and is curious as to who it was and what it means or signifies.
And what was the name on that? We're sorry.
Kiki.
Kiki. Okay. Well, we want to, this is going to be fun, and maybe we can keep this one a little shorter. That was you. That was you whispering that in your ear to remind you to put this presence in you. And it was harmony. Is that the word? That was
yes, that was the word. Harmony.
It was to remind you what you're doing here on the planet. Harmony, harmonic balance. Everyone is a frequency. Everyone is a sound. Everyone has a vibration to them. And bringing harmony into this planet means you bring in the harmonic convergence of energy. When everybody is like tuning that piano, right? When one key is off, the song doesn't sound right. But when everyone here is in harmonic balance, can you imagine the sound of the planet? Can you imagine how beautiful and uniform and magical that would be? And so there was a future self in your, on one of your timelines, there is a future self that achieved that and came back to remind you, so that you would stay on that timeline, so you would stay on that path. And you're doing a great job. I hear you're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing. Find your harmony, find your harmony, find your balance, get your divine balance going. You have already done some of the work that you came here to do, that is setting you on the path. Keep going on the path, follow your direction. When a door opens, check it out, check it out. You want to see what's behind that door. It just opened, go look. You're not going to walk through all of them, but you're going to know. Remember, that inner compass is going to tell you, this feels right, this feels right. And guess what? If you go through the wrong door, it's just a potty break off the highway. You're going to get back on track, right? Now we'll never stop using that, will we? We'll be calling them potty breaks. You're taking a potty break. You're distracted right now. So we just want you to remember, you are always on task. But that voice you heard was an older version of you. It was this beautiful sage information coming back to this moment, that moment that you were in when you heard it. It stayed with you. And Tracie's had things like that. She understands what you're saying because it stays with you. It doesn't fade out. You don't forget about it. It was very surreal, and it stays with you, and it was meant to stay with you. It's you put that in place so that you would stay on course, and you're doing a beautiful job. And thank you for the work you're doing.
Lovely. Thank you. So the next question is from Drusilla. And from your perception, what does Earth look like in shape?
We love this question for the fact that we know that there's many different perceptions of Earth.
Mhm.
And we know that there's many different realities of that playing out. And we have to remind everyone, you get what you believe, right? You are experiencing what you believe. You're going to have the life you believe. You're going to experience the afterlife you believe. You're going to experience those things. You're going to experience Earth the way you want to experience Earth. And our reality, our perception, and based off of the attachment to that answer that Tracie has, to remind everyone there is influence there, and we work through her filters. It is round, but for some it's perceived as flat. For others, it's perceived as maybe something even different, cone shaped, whatever you want to say. And here's our question back to you: does it matter? Does it matter? Does it matter if it's flat? Does it matter if it's round? Does it matter if it's ginormous or tiny? Does it matter at all? Because what you're here for is the experience of the human life that you are having on this planet. And it's trivial in some perspectives to wonder why does it matter? And so as we look at that question, if it does matter, it matters in the form of, you want a truth, you want good direction, you want to be in alignment with what is real and what is not real, but you are living in a reality where everyone's reality is different. So whose reality is right and whose is wrong? And the answer to that is no one's is wrong. Everyone is right. Everyone is right. You're having these experiences. You are getting to form your own belief system. You get to have an experience off of the belief system that you choose to follow. And it doesn't make the next guy's belief system wrong, because they're having their experience off of their belief system. Where it gets convoluted is where everybody wants everyone else to believe the way they believe. And if you could let go of that attachment and just be in what feels right to you, then just know you are right. You are right for your reality. You are right for everything you're creating for your experience. You are right. And so with that, how good does that feel? Everyone gets to be right. Everyone is right. And a lot of you are struggling with that, but go figure that out within yourself, because you don't need to make it a conflict for yourself. Just be in your experience, having your reality, and be in the like-mindedness of that. If you want to be in conflict of that reality, then the universe provides you with conflict, right? It will provide you with that energy. If you want to be in an argument over that reality, you're going to draw to you somebody else from a different perspective that also wants to be an argument over that reality. And you'll find each other and you'll argue about it, and you'll have that experience. Won't that be fun? And so start to realize you create these realities and you're having these experiences, and then you're having these experiences with other people that are creating realities and having experiences. When you let go of your attachment of everybody else's experience, you're going to have a much easier, much flowier life. So get into that space and you decide, what does the world look like to you? It can be flat, it can be round, it can be big, it can be small, it can be a cone, it can be, we could be actually inside the earth having an inner earth experience, and that blue sky we see around us is actually the core of another earth, another world that wraps around us. We don't know. Did we just add another conflict to that conversation? And so as you evolve that for yourself and move through that, we hope that with that information, you'll step back and you'll just decide for yourself what feels good to me, what feels right to me, and that's enough. I don't need to convince everybody else that something is a certain way, that God or spirit is a certain way, that a mountain is a certain way, that the earth is a certain way, that the air we breathe is a certain way, the food we eat is a certain way. Do what feels right for you and let that be your reality. Okay.
Anything and everything is.
Yes. Is there anything you want to add to any of this? Please do, Judy, please do.
No, I won't add to that at this point. I have questioned myself, and yeah, it's whatever you perceive it to be. That is all that matters.
All of this could actually be on a ship. We could keep going. whatever your realities can
It could
be.
very easily be on a ship.
Mhm.
I have experienced something like that through a QHHT session with a client about different worlds on ships. Very interesting.
Mhm. Start opening your mind to infinite possibilities.
Absolutely. I think that the process of expanding the mind is absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely.
You know, getting into that, just getting into doing that and extending beyond the beliefs, the very limiting beliefs that we have taken on in this world is an incredible experience.
Mhm.
Moving right along, the next question is from Claudia.
Okay.
Now, Claudia asks, how do you know exactly where we are at?
It would be nice to have her be able to explain that question a little bit more. What we might assume is she asking how can we be on Arcturus and know how to connect with Tracie here on the planet? How would you interpret that, Judy?
I would interpret it as how overall you see humanity on Earth and where we are on the journey that this planet and its inhabitants are taking. I may be wrong.
So where humanity is on their journey to the ascension, is that what you mean?
Yes.
See how we need you to be more specific with your questions.
Good.
Don't assume that we are going to understand what you are asking. So we will just ask for Claudia's counsel. Can you please come to us and give us the answer? And hopefully we will get the answer that she is looking for. Read the question to us one more time, please.
How do you know exactly where we are at?
There's a lot of things that are not in your reality, not in the third dimension, not in the earth realm, that are unexplainable. It seems magical to you in your reality, the things that can be done outside of your reality, traveling time and space, moving through dimensions, looking at future vibrations, looking at timelines and different reverberations of your energy. There are many ways to explain this, and none of them are easy. They're all very complex in their own way. So let's see if we can simplify. If we were to look at Tracie's energy right now, today, and Tracie were to say, if this is my goal, I would like to be at this place in 1 year, right? Everybody's been looking at 2023. What does it bring for me, right? What does 2023 have in store? So she sits there and says, okay, in this year, I'd like to accomplish X, Y, and Z. We like those letters today, X, Y, Z. And so we look at her energy and we look to see where is she a vibrational match to that. And we'd say, okay, well, you're not a vibrational match to this at this point, but let's baby step you to this and let's get you there. And we're going to bring in changes and challenges and things for you to overcome so that you're getting into the place where you now become confident and secure and focused and in certainty that this is where you want to be. And when you move and mold and shape that energy to comply with this challenge that we put before you, you're going to see now that you are that energetic match to that desire. And she's moldable and shapeable, and then she makes her way to that. Well, when we look at the vibration of the planet, when we look at the vibration of a planetary whole, and we look at the trajectory of we want to get to New Earth, we want to get to 5D, we want to reach this dynamic. How do we get there? Well, we're going to have to shake up this planet. Okay, so we're going to shake up this planet and create this reality, and we're going to start moving this vibration and that vibration. And then we're going to knock things over on the desk. So then you're going to reach out to all of these other communities around you, these star beings, these beautiful galactic helpers all around you. You're going to start recognizing your connection to all of that, and you're going to start pulling in vibration and frequencies to help move this vibration, to help lift this planet into the right coordinates for this outcome. And this is really a basic answer for something that's way more complicated than what we are making it, because you have so many aspects to so many things. You have just one individual has multiple timelines that they can be jumping through. You have a collective that has a community timeline that they can be jumping through. You have cities that have this challenge as well. Everything, there's so many aspects to this, and so you have so many things to work with, and yet everything you're working with in such complex levels brings it down to one simple thing. Each individual brings themselves to that level of self-love, self-care, gets themselves out of fear, move out of fear and into understanding, loving your life. Forgiveness is huge. Out of fear, forgive the things that have happened. Look at everything like it was what you needed to go through to get you to this point. Get you to this point of ascension, get you to this point of evolution. You had to overcome, you had to persevere, because you came here to help it do that in this planet, so that the planet could reach these levels. So if each individual does what they need to do, it's as simple as that. Looking at the vibration of people in general, of planet in general, looking at those frequencies can help us understand where the planet is on the trajectory from point A to point B, right? Where are they at on that GPS? Is that planet on a potty break again? Gosh dang it. How do we get them back online, right? And so you see there's so much going on, and at all times, and you have not just your own world that is involved with this, not just your own planetary systems, but you have all of this assistance going on outside of you, all these realities and dimensions and portals and timelines and different things going on. And so to answer that question, we cannot, but you see, we have other ways of reaching into the future. There are many different outcomes for your planet. The timeline you are on right now with Tracie, as you're listening to this, you're on a timeline that reaches that 5th dimension frequency. When will it reach it? Well, that depends on the people. There is not oh, you're going to reach that on December 15th of 2027. Now, everybody put that on the calendar. We want to see if we're right. But anyways, you're not going to get a date like that. You're going to get where are the people at? Where are the people at in their ascension process? It is not a light switch that gets turned on. It is a collective. And as the collective raises the vibration, as the planet itself is able to evolve and raise its vibration through that. So it is up to the people when it gets there, but you're on the timeline to get there if you are listening to this recording. We gave a really long answer to a question we did not quite understand, but we hope that in that Claudia got her answer.
And everybody else too. I mean, that was it expands it out so much to it's not simple. It is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not. It's convoluted, right? It is very convoluted. If everyone were to take responsibility for themselves in this moment right now, if everybody were to just think about something they loved and just be centered on themselves for just that, for 5 seconds, you could be there. Boom, it would change. But you've got to get everybody in unison to do that, right? So over time, it evolves, it'll get there. And it is not, it's not a race. It's not a race. Enjoy the journey. Have a beautiful time. You're in a beautiful time on the planet where a lot of change is happening. And for those that are looking at, well, what about all of these threats of war, poverty, or shortages and deprivation and all the things, the governments, the medical systems, and all the political things that are going on all around you, we say that has always been going on in your world. You are no different than any other time frame in your planet. It has always been happening. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to send it love, and you're going to send it all kinds of big, bright, juicy energy, and see it being healed, and see it being corrected, and see it being in the highest and best good for the community, for the collective. Or are you going to feed it? You're going to feed it with your fear. And so you get to choose, and that is part of your journey. It's part of your decisions to make. What reality are you going to choose? And the best part, Judy, is you can choose to have peace and tranquility. And Tracie could be over here chomping at the bit going, hey, did you see what was happening over here and what's happening over there? And this is going wrong. And did you see what they just posted on the news? And I saw this on Twitter, and she's getting all worked up and amped up, and she's going to have a different experience than you. Your experience doesn't have to be based on what's going on for her, and vice versa. You can merge those energies if you want to, but if you want to just live in your own peaceful bubble and create that reality and be out of that energy, you can. And you can have that experience, and you're not taking away from anything. You're not putting your head in the sand. You are making a choice to live a peaceful life and to have a different experience. And again, we've gone over this 100 times. We don't want to go over it again. That is not saying that you are not paying attention to what's going on in the world. You get to choose how you're responding to it. And a peaceful resolution would be sending love to those leaders, sending love to the changes and the shifts that need to happen to bring this place into the world that you desire. Choose how you're going to respond. Okay.
Excellent. The next one's from Carol, who is thinking of relocating to a coastline. But throughout her time, she and her mother have both had dreams about gigantic walls of ocean water rising up. So now she's asking, should we all be avoiding coastlines in the near future?
Our question would be, are these dreams memories? Are they memories from
Good
other
point.
lifetimes?
Very good point.
There are many, many places around the world where these things have already happened, and you may have been in a lifetime during that time. You could have been in Lemuria, you could have been in Atlantis, you could have been in more local times, and wasn't it China or Japan where they had the tsunamis and different things like that. They happen all around the world all the time. What we're going to say to you is to ask for clarity in that dream. And what we're going to say to you is, which reality do you want to live in? You make sure it feels right to you. If you feel like you are being pulled to the ocean and that feels safe to you, then go to the ocean. If you feel like you're hitting a wall and there's resistance and there's fear, then we say trust that. Because remember, you're creating from the energy that you are putting out. And so you have to be responsible for, how does that feel to you? We cannot answer that for you because you have more than one timeline. We could tell you what we see. You can create either one, but you need to be honest with yourself about how you feel as you make that transition. If you move to a coastline in fear, you're going to have things happen to you that reiterate that fear. They're going to mimic that fear back to you. So make sure that you're clear of whatever it is that you are seeing, whatever lifetime, whatever experience, understand it, and clear any fear-based energy around it before moving. But we don't see a threat in the coastline, and it would be an interesting day where every coastline on the planet was a threat. So if that were something that is a reality, is not in any reality we're seeing, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Remember, if it's in your reality, it exists somewhere. So we do not see it. It feels peaceful. You follow your own compass, and that goes to anybody that is thinking about moving, that goes to anybody that's wanting to make any decisions, big decisions in their life. You are the one that has the compass. How do you feel about it? Does it feel really good for you? What are your fears? Because your fears are going to follow you there. And so they're going to create an experience for you. And you need to be mindful of that and work with that before you go, if you can. So we don't know that there's a big answer to that one. We do not see the threat. I mean, everywhere around the world, there are times when natural disasters and walls of water, tsunamis will happen. This is not we're not seeing this as a global threat. But again, if there is a reality being created like that, then it exists somewhere.
Okay.
Let's just not be on that timeline. How about that? We'll keep you with us on this good timeline. Don't go to that timeline. Come here, come to the light. But yes, stay safe. Don't follow yourself. Follow and trust your gut.
Right. Janice is drawn to the emerald tablets of Thoth and wants to know how she should go about studying them.
But she's already been led to a lot of really positive information, a lot of really good. She's going to be led to things that are truth and things that are not truth. And this is intentional. She needs to discern for herself so that she can anchor in that she has spent time there in the time of Thoth, and that she is personally connected to these tablets. And for her to learn that connection, she will go through the trials. She will be submitted something that is accurate and true, and she'll be submitted things that are not, and she'll have to use her discernment and her own intuition to figure out what is what and what feels right to her. And as she goes through that, it is going to be an extraordinary growth period for her in this. And as she studies this, she may even come across something that says, I don't know if this feels right, but I don't know what feels wrong either. So with those things where you're teetering, set them aside. You might not have enough information yet, but then as you come across the next piece of information, it'll help you discern better if that other piece was accurate or not. So have some fun with it. You are being brought to the right material, the right teachers, the right things to read, the right places to go. Follow it. Follow that the best you can. The resources you need will show up for you. Just have faith in that and go on that journey. It is a key to unlock knowledge on the planet as it's raising its vibration. It's going to be a key to unlock a frequency, a vibration throughout the planet to just again enhance some of that energy and knowledge throughout the planet. It's like when somebody releases a new video game and everybody goes out and buys it, right? Everybody wants to play this new game. You're going to release some new energy out there, and those who are ready for it are going to be able to grab hold of that, and they're going to be able to collect the knowledge from it. So it's an extraordinary time. She should have fun with it. Don't take it too serious. Don't get too wrapped up in it. It is not meant to be a burden for you. It is meant to be fun. It is meant to be challenging. It's meant to be exuberating, right? Is that a word? It is meant to really lift her up and be exciting times for her. So we hope that she enjoys that.
Okay, lovely. All right, the next one is from Diana, who wants to understand how you let go and flow through illness and then back into a wellness mindset. So I guess what she's saying is that when you're in the illness scenario, the mind doesn't offer up the positive.
So what we want to say to her with that is, and this is a difficult thing for some people, but there's a lot of times when you start rejecting things in your body. So whatever the illness is, you're like, I don't want that illness here. You need to go away, take away this illness, get rid of the illness. That is a rejection. And it's a rejection of a part of you that's trying to get your attention, a part of you that's trying to give you information. So the first thing we would say to elevating yourself out of illness is to understand why it's there in the first place. To understand what is its message to you through the body. What is being stored in this place? And so as that information is extracted from the illness, as you have to be as neutral as you can be and be out of fear to help you to gather the information. And we know that sometimes being out of fear, maybe that's not fully an option if the illness is something life-threatening. But do your best to not reject the illness. And we're not saying that you are accepting a fate. What we're saying is you are accepting a part of yourself. You are accepting that this is here. You're not ignoring it. You're not putting a blind eye to it. You're not pretending it's not there. If I pretend it's not there, it's going to go away. We want you to communicate with it. We want you to talk to it. We want you to interact with it, have conversations with this part of yourself so you can understand it, so that you can love the journey, learn from it, be in the understanding of why it is there, be incredibly honest with yourself, look at your behaviors, look at your past, and look at your hurts and your pains, be honest with yourself about how you truly feel. There's a lot of mothers out there that feel very resentful. Resentful, not of their children, but of the position that it's put them in, if you will. They're resentful for a situation. They're resentful that all the sacrifices. They're resentful of how stuck they might feel in a moment when they want to be out here doing this, but now I can't because I'm here doing this. There's a lot of men that feel that way. There's a lot of women that feel that way. Whatever the scenarios are, you feel that way towards a spouse, towards a situation, towards a parent that's getting older and you need to be there to care for them. And you start building up these energies of resentment and anger that this is happening and not wanting to be in that situation. But you can't tell society that, can you? You can't tell society, I'm really tired of watching my kids. I need a break. Some people are brave enough and do that, but some people feel like I'm a bad mom if I take a break from my children. And we say to you, get honest with yourself. Where are you at? Check into your mental health, your physical health. Where are you at? Where is it pulling at you? Is it work? Is it home life? Is it a spouse? Is it a parent? Is it a child? And get honest with yourself. It's nothing to do with the other people. It's nothing to do with work. It's nothing to do with the child. They are your mirror, and they're going to keep pounding you with whatever this energy is that's creating this reaction. So did you create a symptom to get yourself out of that scenario? Did you create an illness to give yourself a break? Did you create something in order to get relief from something else? And that is a lot of times what will happen. People will be in a miserable marriage and they don't believe in divorce, so they create an illness that takes them out of their lifetime so that they can move on. They don't want to be here anymore, so they create their subconscious, and their physical body will create an illness that now separates them, passes them on, takes them out of the body, and then they no longer are in the abusive or whatever situation it is. So get into your juice. It is all about you. It is all about you. Now, what would have happened if that person would have believed that they could get out of that bad situation, that toxic situation, without going down that journey? What if they would have been brave enough to venture out and live a different life, do something different, instead of doing it this way? But we say to you, there are no wrong answers, right? Either way, they get out of the lifetime, and now maybe they reincarnate into another soul and go have a different experience, and they feel free to do that, and they're no longer consumed by this other situation. So there are no wrong answers to it. But if you want to understand the illness, if you want to move out of the space of what is going on in the physicality of you, you have to understand it. You have to talk to it. This is an area that Judy was talking about when she brought up her soul speak. And this is an area that she's skilled at helping people to discover. Why is that pain and ache there? Why is that shoulder hurt? Why is the headache there all the time? What is going on with my neck, right? And all these things, there is a journey to take with that and understanding it. Actually, we will hand that over to Judy and ask her to talk about it again.
Yeah, well, it's quite fascinating, and it's very, very specific. Certain parts of the body, well, every part of the body relates to a very specific circumstance that has happened in your life that you need to understand and work through. And so if you're not understanding about that, then you get an ache, pain, discomfort, whatever, in that particular part of the body. So in what we do, we go in, ask the question, what do I need to know? What is going on that I am experiencing this? And you'll get the answers. And then you'll also realize what you have to do in order to resolve that. So it's fascinating looking at all health issues now from this perspective, that it is purely and simply a message for something that you have not consciously understood or been aware of. And it's very simple.
It is in that understanding that you can resolve it and rise above it, and then the symptom goes away.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's not always a fun journey, is it, to look at, okay, what part am I playing in that scenario? What part is it? Oh, I'm stubborn, I'm not letting something go, I'm not forgiving in a certain area, I'm not allowing for flow to be in this part of my life. And so you'll find things that go on with the heart, with the veins, with the arteries, with the movement, with the circulation of the body. There's so many different things, so many ways for the body to talk to you and to show you what's going on.
Absolutely.
We say take it literally. Like Tracie was working with someone with a stiff neck, and she asked them flat out, well, what's been a pain in the neck lately? And went down that journey, right? And how long has this been going on? And what else has been going on that long that's a pain in the neck? Oh, and next thing you know, you can turn your head back and forth, you can move again. So it's a journey to work with rising above the symptom. But when you learn to talk to your body like that, then the symptom doesn't have to scream at you anymore, does it?
That's right.
And so just a little bit of something might happen and you'll be like, oh, I felt a twinge in my shoulder. I better go talk to it before it becomes a thing.
Exactly.
And the next thing you know, you're not having all those disruptions and aches and pains and illnesses, because you're keeping in touch with your body. What do you want me to know today? Where can I be of service? What is it that I need to look at? And as you build that relationship with your body and build that relationship with your soul and your spirit in that level, that's how you rise above illness. You raise it out of the belief that you're ill, and get into that understanding that you're talking to your body and your body's talking to you. It's a very beautiful thing. I think that is probably enough on that, unless you have more to add.
No. I just had a personal little insight myself with this scenario, so I'm happy about that. We are coming up to time, so how is Tracie feeling?
How many more do we have?
8.
Let's keep going, and let's check in after. Let's do 2 more and check in again.
Okay. All right. Aussie Chris asks if there is any collective or being that would like to share a message for him.
We like Aussie Chris. There's your other Aussie that you were looking for, yeah? And so, Chris, we look at you and we know that you are on an extraordinary journey, and your self-discovery and falling into more and more about who you are. We are laughing because you said, is there a message from Spirit for me? There it is. You go figure it out. There is an upgrade, not upgrade. What's the word you want us to use if it's not that? There is an integration that needs to be made with you, Christopher. They don't even want to call you Chris. They're calling you out in your full name, Christopher. There is an integration to be made. We feel like the Terminator energy coming in. There's a very strong energy, a very masculine energy, a very strong energy that wants to come through you, Chris, and it wants to integrate with you, because there are some steps that are needed to be taken. And you have become a very fluent channel, whether you realize it or not. You have become a channel, and this energy would like to have permission to work with you. It's going to bring out a stronger side of you. It's going to bring out a side of you that's more confident and moving into action. You may notice a little bit of change, a little bit of of things moving in a different direction for you, as far as your personality may shift a little bit, because you're going to be stepping into something that feels a little more directed than what you are used to. And so if you want to give permission for that, that is up to you. Call in your gatekeeper, bring in that highest vibration and screen that energy. But it feels good to us. It just feels very strong. It feels very protective of you, but it feels very directed as well. And if you were looking for something to push you in a direction, this would be the energy to do it. Step into it. Don't be in doubt around it. Let it move through you. It's right here. We haven't felt this before. We're not making this up, right? So we're getting in your head in that fear and doubt that we talked about earlier. What is this? Is this real? Am I making this up? I don't think this is real. And then you don't let yourself fully express it or feel it. And we're saying we were able to feel this energy. We know this energy is true and right for you. And this is an energy, very interesting. They say this is an energy that you have incarnated in other lifetimes. You've used this frequency of your soul to integrate. So it's familiar to you. It is a familiar aspect of you that you are going to integrate. So it is your soul. It is not separate from you. It is your soul. It is another aspect of you coming in. And we know that we have a similar question about walk-ins. Is that right, Judy? There's a walk-in question.
Yes, there is a walk-in question. Just wanting to know a little bit about walk-ins.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit here with that, and then we won't need to ask that question. So what's happening here is this is another part of Christopher's soul that wants to integrate with him. He is ready for it now. It's like when you grow up and you feel like you're getting older and older, and then eventually you don't get to be the kid anymore, and you go through that awkward teenage phase somewhere between 15 and 17, where you have to figure out who you are, and do I still ask mommy for help, or do I do it myself, right? And so you go through this phase. Well, Christopher has now moved to a level where he's ready to integrate this new vibration or frequency of himself. Now that is not a walk-in. That is him integrating a new part, a new aspect of himself that is ready to come in now. It's now a vibrational match for this to drop in, and it will be another version of him. It's going to come across more directed and more focused than the energy that he is currently at. So what might happen is his family might say, he's a little different. Have you noticed he's getting a little more assertive here? Whatever it might be, whatever changes, but there will be a little personality change that goes with it in a good way. It is a good way. It's boundaries, it's assertiveness, it's direction, and it's certainty for manifestation and drive. Now, a walk-in is where one soul transitions out and a new soul, and not the same aspect, but a new soul entirely, will drop into that body. And those arrangements have been made in the etherical realms. It is not a body snatcher. It's not something taking over. But if there has been an incident where there's an agreement before coming into this life, where one soul says, well, I would like to experience the human life, but I don't need to go through the whole thing. And another soul says, well, I need to get in there and do some work, but I don't want to go through the childhood. Oh, okay, well, I'll do the childhood version. And then when that person turns 16, you come in and I'll go out. And they switch bodies. That's one way that can happen. Another way that it can happen is an accident occurs, and maybe someone's experiencing that near-death experience, right? They're going on that journey. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? And they say, I want to go. And then they say, okay, well, there's this other soul that would like to take that body. Is that okay? Yeah, that's okay. They can have the body. I want to go. And a new version comes in, a new soul comes in, and that is also a walk-in. And a lot of times after something traumatic happens, you'll notice the personality change of a person. Tracie experienced a local person here that was a parent of one of her friends. She had a stroke. And when she came back from the stroke, she was talking with an accent. They blamed it on the stroke, but it was quite an accent. It was very distinguished. It was very Southern, and had quite a strong twang to it. And so she's sitting there saying, is this a walk-in? Is did somebody else come into this body? And the person we knew has decided to exit. And so there was always that wondering, after the stroke, the voice changed too. The way that this person talked changed. And anyways, so just knowing that a walk-in is an entirely different soul. And then there is also a shift of personality sometimes when new aspects of yourself drop in. And a lot of times people will remember when a new aspect drops in. They'll remember, or they'll know when they shifted and changed, and they'll feel that, but they also know and feel that they are still the same soul. Okay, so we think we covered that for you. Yeah, Christopher has upgrades coming in.
I'd just like to add a little bit to that with my own experience, and I've recently felt that aspect drop in and firmly seat itself within me. Quite fascinating.
Had that as well, and it is quite an extraordinary experience, and it's very. It is a good feeling, right? It is like, oh, this feels good. This feels strong. I feel
very strong.
Yes, and it's a good integration. And most of the audience, if they haven't felt it, they will be feeling it, and probably in this next year. What else do we have? So we don't have to do the walk-in question. What else do we have?
Ascending Aquarius, who is now pregnant, asks if there's any message for her or her baby.
Buckle up. We just like to pick on her. Yes, beautiful timing to bring in. Your baby is one of the ones we speak of course, the children of the sun coming in to integrate that fifth dimensional energy. It is such an exciting time with these children that are coming in, as they are the ones that will be able to help the rest of us understand how to live in that fifth dimension. And they bring in a lot of very powerful energy. There's a lot of yellow. We're seeing a lot of yellow energy around you and the baby. A lot of enlightenment is coming in with this one. A lot of enlightenment, a lot of shifts. And so don't be surprised if this child starts telling you how to behave and telling you how to eat and how to talk to each other and how to integrate whatever is going on. This child is very knowledgeable and will be very intelligent. And we see people will be like calling her up going, so how are you today? So could you ask your baby, once that baby's talking, could you ask XYZ, see what they say? I'm just curious, because this baby is going to be very wise and very, very intellectual and very connected to the councils that are there to support it. And so it'll be fun. It'll be fun when this baby breaks way into this world, right? Oh, we didn't mean to make it sound like that was painful. When it eases its way into this world and and gets to take that first breath and bring that energy fully integrated into the planet. That'll be awesome. So that'll be fun. What else do we have?
Okay, the next one is from Northern Lights, and it pertains to the answer that you said before about which reality we choose to live in. But it's about the recent spate of solar flares and anomalies affecting the planet, and asks, is there something that we need to be concerned about, and what's really going on there?
We want to remind everyone, just reassure everyone. But we giggle because we say the worst thing that can happen to you is you will die, and then you'll get to go back home. So that's not a bad thing, right? A lot of you are longing for home already, but we say to you, don't worry. Remember, we have domes around this earth, and those energies, we have filters around the planet, so that energies that are being released, that you're not getting hit with more than you can handle as a humanity. Some are able to handle more than others. So it is what is the word? It is adjusted to those who can't handle the energy as much, but it is still strong and it is still felt by everyone. but it is, we do not see a reason to fear, and jump on that timeline with us, right? Jump on that timeline with us. There's no reason to fear. Remember, you're creating that reality, as Judy said. And so when you're looking at these things, when you're going down these rabbit holes, we trust us. You could find a rabbit hole that says the whole world's going to end tomorrow. The whole, everything's going to hell in a handbasket, right? Or you can find the rabbit holes that say ascension is upon us, and the earth is healing, and the work is being done to purge these energies as we restore the planet back to a vibrational pattern that is conduit to the fifth dimension. We're making words up. Don't worry about it. But as we do that, as we all get on the same page that this planet is healing, the planet is healing, and we get out of the fear and the worry of how it's doing that, right? And just know that there's a lot of beautiful beings out there that are doing as much as they can to assist. They are limited in what can be done, but you are being, to the best of our abilities on the other side, you are being protected from these things. Now, solar flares, what to watch for? It is a mood changer, isn't it? It's going to really agitate you if you're dealing with something. You're really going to be having it in your face. It's going to be very present for you. But if you're in a good place and you are not in a phase where you're clearing something, we want to say, and you've been doing your work, but you're always doing your work. So if you're in a phase where you are in a rest period, right? You just cleared something major and you get to have a rest period, then you're probably not going to feel the solar flare near as much. But if you have some things that you need to work on that you've been putting off to the side and ignoring and lending that blind eye to, it's going to be right in your face. And so that energy is very triggering. It's very agitating. It's going to stir up, and it's going to be kicking up the dust. You're not going to be able to get around it. So when that happens for you, what do? Do you ignore? Do you keep ignoring? Do you keep walking away, hiding from it, hoping it'll go away? It's just going to keep getting louder. So it's time to sit with it. It's time to deal with it. It's time to heal it. It's time to talk it out. It's time to do whatever you need to do with it to bring it into the most positive light possible. And that's what you're going to find with the solar flares. We don't feel like they're not life-threatening unless you get to the point where you become suicidal. If you become suicidal, reach out to your resources around that. Find your friends, and if you feel that energy is so intense that you don't want to be here anymore, find someone to help you through that. Know that this is a temporary feeling that's coming through. It's important to reach out to the resources, because you're very vital to this planet. You are very important to this planet. And we love you. We want you here. We want you to understand you are important, and that you are very loved, and we care about you. So we will help you find the resources. You just have to ask us for help. And you also have to take steps to get the help for yourself as well. If you are suffering from any kind of depression or agitation or anxiety, please seek the help. Don't ignore it. You can't pretend it's not there. Seek the help that you need to get through that, okay? So we want to make sure people are taking care of themselves. We understand not everybody is going to be in swirling bliss, and that you are going through real life things, and that real life things are being stirred up. And it is up to you to take some responsibility with that and seek the help that you need for that. And know that you are loved. Know that we are here for you, and that we can only do so much. You do have to do some things on your own in your own reality. We are not here in your reality with you. So it is important that you do what you need to do for your safety and good health. Did we cover that okay? Is there any more?
I think so. No, that was very good. That was very good. Thank you. So once again, I'm checking in with
what are we down to?
Just a couple more. How about if we just do one more? Would that be okay? All right.
We're doing one more.
One more. This is from Simon regarding spiritual archetypes. What are they, and how can they help us on our missions?
The spiritual archetypes. Let us go for a little astro travel with that one and see who wants to come in for that. It is very important to understand that in your world, in your realities, in the construct that you are experiencing at this time, you base a lot of things on belief systems, and learned behaviors, constructs. And to have these archetypes in place is to help you to evolve. It is an evolution mechanism. It is an experience to be had. It is an outline to a journey. And so you may go through these archetypes and find your way through them. Not everybody experiences them, but if this was part of your of what you wanted to learn, of what you wanted to do while you're in the human experience, you may find your way to the archetypes and make your way through the lessons learned through each stage of that program or that construct. And so if you find yourself drawn to it, then you sit with that and you ask yourself, what is it that you came to learn from it? What is it that you came to do with this system? We think many of you have gone through this system. You have gone through these levels, these lessons, and you have learned, and you have lived lives of large communities, and lived lives of solitude. You have lived lives of learning self-discipline. You have learned lives of learning, well, whatever, we could go on. And so what we say to you is questions like these draw back a question from us. What is it that you are taking from it? Because this is your personal journey and you are drawn to this for a reason. You are drawn to this for whatever you are going to break it down to be for you. And so that is the answer with that one. We will keep that one a little shorter, knowing that we are running into fading energies over here as well. So keep in mind that your journey is presented to you for a reason. If this is coming to you, if this is something presented to you, explore it and follow your intuition around it, do your research around it, go on the journey that you have with it, and keep that, move that until it feels complete. That's what we want to say. And so with that, Judy, you are right. It is time to let Tracie go. We are feeling her energy just is starting to drop, and she is starting to be well aware of her head. And she says it's starting to, we need to let her hydrate and get back into her body. And so with that, we want to thank you so much for being here with us and asking the questions. We want to thank the audience for being here, those who are listening live and those who will listen later. Thank you, and with great gratitude. And thank you for letting us be a part of your experience today. And with much love, we will see you next time.
Thank you for another wonderful journey.
Okay, I am going to take a drink. It was weird. You said, we'll ask one more, and all of a sudden I'm starting to get this headache. And I'm like, where is that coming from? So it was definitely because I was like, oh yeah, we could keep going. And then they're like, no. All right. So, so much information in that one.
Always.
Yeah, that was quite a ride. And thank you everybody that was asking those questions. There were, like I said in the beginning, there were some where I was like, well, we've answered these before and they're showing up again. And yet they were quite expansive and still brings me to new understandings of things. So we think we know.
We reckon we got it nailed, and then whoop, something new comes.
So very, very cool. Thank you everybody that's saying goodbye and checking out in the chat room. I'm seeing you pop up there. Appreciate you, love you, thank you. Don't forget to click like on the video for us as well, and we appreciate it when you guys can help us out to share this video and get this information out to everybody. Really, it's pretty cool to bring that information in. The energy was so punchy there at the beginning. It was quite funny. I love the potty break. And now we made room for food, so let's go get food. Okay, so thank you, Daniel, for that. And I'm over there just rolling my eyes on over here, just like, oh, okay. So lots of fun with you guys today. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Judy, for being here. Once again, for those who came in a little later, how do they find you? How do they reach you? What kind of sessions do you do?
Okay, my website is mylifespurpose.com.au, QHHT sessions, soul speak sessions, dimensional journey sessions. Yeah, bit of exploration here, there, and everywhere. So check it out. And Tracie, how do they find you?
Thank you for asking. I was going to tell it anyway. You guys were going to get an earful. You guys, you'll find me at traciemahan.com. We are going to do, I'm going to do a journey with Daniel on the 22nd. I believe we agreed on 2 o'clock for that. Judy's going to do a little intro. I haven't made the banner for that yet, you guys, but the feeling I get from this one is that it's not going to be a Daniel surprise. This one is about where is this journey taking us?
Okay.
And I just keep seeing this road, this road, but it's wide and then it gets kind of more narrow, like it's starting to get more focused. So I'm kind of curious about it. I got to get that written up and get it out for you guys. So watch for that. If I get that done, I'll tag it on the description here. So if you come back to this video, go to my website, go to my Facebook page. Probably in the next day or 2, I'll have that. My intention was to get it done today. So if I can, I will. Otherwise, look for it in the next day or 2. It'll get out. But I really, like I even wrote it down. Where does the path lead? I think I kept feeling like the wording was wrong, but I think where is this journey taking us is going to be more. Matter of fact, I better write that down or I'm gonna have to watch this whole video again. But anyway, so watch for that to come out. That's the 22nd. Judy and I will be there, and
for the Aussie and New Zealand audience, 23rd.
Yes,
in the morning.
In the morning, set your alarm. It'll be worth it. And for those of you that feel like, oh, I always miss the live, well, guess what? If you sign up for the live, you get the recording like this, the video recording, and you will also get a little audio recording of just the journey part if you just want to play that on something so it doesn't take up all the space, right? But if you want the experience of feeling the group, you will get the recording if you sign up for the live version of it. Otherwise, it'll be available on the online store afterwards, and that's just the audio recording. So there's that information too. All right, Judy. Okay. Again, I don't know how to end this without ending Zoom. So this is where I send you all my love, and likewise, such great gratitude to you for always joining me on these in this journey and sharing your love with this magical audience as well.
It's always so much fun and so informative. I love it.
They're like, what? And Daniel didn't pick on you very much this time.
No, he didn't. Not at all today.
No, I mean, he could have asked you if you ever take potty breaks when you're on a road trip, and he didn't. So anyways, you guys, all right, love you all. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Until next time, bye-bye. Bye.